Welcome, dear students. So today we are going to discuss another topic from the subject EST 120 Basics of Civil Engineering, Module 2. So in the previous class we were discussing the various building materials or the various materials that are used in construction. Already we discussed the bricks. So today we are going to discuss what is sand, what are the properties and the uses of sand. So, what is sand? You all are quite familiar with this term sand. We know that sand is a naturally occurring material and it is mainly composed of granular materials or very finely divided rock and other mineral particles. And the most common or the most important constituent of sand is silica, that is silicon dioxide or SiO2, and it is usually present in the form of quartz. Now coming to the various sources of sand, that is from where we obtain the sand. So we have seen sand being used in various constructions, isn't it? But where do we obtain this material from? So based on the source, we can classify sand as pit sand, river sand and sea sand. Now we know that sand is mainly formed by the weathering of the rocks. So the rocks will disintegrate or weather out and form very fine particles which we call as sand, and based on the sources we classify it as pit sand, river sand and sea sand. So we'll see what are they. So firstly the pit sand. So what do we mean by pit sand? So pit sand, as a word, the term itself explains, it is the sand that are obtained from the pits. So in the ground itself, or in the soil itself, we will excavate say about 1 to 2 meters from the ground level, and then we can see that there are deposits of sand which will be found in some type of soil. So the sand that are obtained by forming pits in the soil, we call it as pit sand. So normally just below the ground level, say 1 to 2 meters, we will dig out and form pits, and then you can see that there are deposits of sand in the soil. And this type of a soil or this type of sand or the sand obtained from the pits, we call it as pit sand. And normally the sand that is found as deposits in the soil consists of sharp angular grains, and they are normally free from salts. So this is a widely accepted type of sand in construction, and it is a very good material or excellent material for preparing mortar or even for concrete work. And the other desirable properties are that the pit sand must be free from any other material like clay or any other organic matter, and this should be ensured before it is being used in mortar. Then a coating of oxide of iron over the sand grains also, if at all it is there, we have to remove it. So that's about pit sand. Now coming to the second type based on the source, that is the river sand. Again, you know that river sand is also the sand that is widely used for all purposes. So these are actually obtained from the banks or from the beds of the rivers, and here it consists of fine rounded grains. In the case of pit sand, we saw that the type of sand is normally angular. We get angular grains, whereas in the river sand, that each sand particle will be fine rounded grains, and mainly the presence of the rounded grains is due to the mutual attrition which occurs under the action of water current. So the sand that is obtained from the river bank or from the river bed, we call it as river sand. And that is also usually, since it is obtained from water, normally that will be whenever we extract or when we remove sand from rivers, it is usually in clean conditions. It will be normally washed once, and it is almost white in color. So here you can see various pictures which shows the river sand, the source of river sand. Now coming to the sea sand. So the sand that are obtained from the seashores, we call it as sea sand. Normally it is brown in color, and this also has fine rounded grains. And now we know that sea water is salty, isn't it? So the sand that are obtained from the sea will contain salt, and what happens is whenever salt is present in sand, this will try to absorb moisture from the atmosphere, and hence when we use such type of sand in construction, the absorption of moisture from the atmosphere will cause dampness, and it may lead to the disintegration of work. So whenever we use sea sand in construction work, there is always a possibility of attraction of moisture from the atmosphere, and normally we don't use it for engineering purposes because it also retards the setting action of cement. So we know that when cement and sand is used as mortar or concrete, it will set or it will harden in the due course. But whenever we use sea sand, there is a retarding of the setting action. It will not set too fast, so it will retard it. So normally we use this for non-structural purpose only. For structural purposes or engineering purposes, usually we avoid sea sand, and if at all it is used, it has to be thoroughly washed in order to remove the salt particles that are present in it. Now sometimes it may be used as a substitute for river sand, and also, like I told you, we have to wash the sea sand before it is being used for construction purpose because it contains salt. Now coming to the classification of sand, so normally we classify sand based on its size as fine sand, coarse sand and gravelly sand. So the sand that passes through a sieve, so sieve is that round apparatus using which we will just sieve the materials, isn't it? So whenever a sieve size of 1.5875 is used, and if the sand passes, if you sieve the sand through this sieve, if the sand passes through this, all the sand which passes through 1.5875 millimeter, we call it as fine sand, and this type of sand is mainly used for plastering works. And coarse sand means the sand that passes through a sieve with clear opening of 3.175 millimeters, and we call it coarse sand, and this is normally used for masonry work. So masonry means building of the structures using stones or bricks. So for masonry work we normally use the coarse sand. And then we have gravelly sand, so the sand that passes through a sieve with clear openings of 7.62 millimeters, so a little more larger size of sand, we call it as gravelly sand, and this sand is normally used for the concrete work. So based on the size, so we classify it as fine sand, coarse sand and gravelly sand. Very fine sand is used for plastering, and coarse sand is used for masonry work, and gravelly sand is used for concrete work. Now coming to the properties of good sand. So the sand that is used for construction should be clean and coarse, and must be free from any other impurities or say organic material or matter or vegetable matter, etc. And normally 3 to 4% of organic matter is permitted, but preferably it should be free from all this. Then it should be chemically inert. So sand should not be chemically active, so it should be inert. Then it should contain sharp, angular, coarse and durable grains. It should be strong. Then it should not contain salt, because what happens when salt is present, that will absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Then it should be well graded. So what do you mean by well graded? Well graded means it should contain particles of all sizes in suitable proportions, and it should be strong and durable, and must be clean and free from coatings of clay, silt, etc. So these are the desirable properties of good sand that is used for construction. Now coming to the tests for sand. So what are the tests? How do you test whether a given sand is of good quality or not? So there are some field tests, like you take a small quantity of sand, put it in a glass of water and then shake it vigorously, and you have to allow it to settle. So if the clay is present, then a distinct layer is formed at the top of the sand. Now whether to know whether there is presence of organic impurities in sand, a solution of sodium hydroxide or caustic soda will be added to sand, and it will be stirred properly. And if the color of the solution changes to brown, it actually indicates the presence of impurities. So now coming to bulking of sand. So bulking of sand is nothing but the increase in the volume of sand due to the presence of moisture. So suppose in a given sample of sand there is presence of moisture. What happens? Each sand particle will be coated by the water particle or the moisture. So what happens is there will be a resultant increase in the volume of the given sample. So this process of increase in volume of sand due to the presence of moisture, we call it as bulking of sand. So normally if there is a presence of say about 5 to 8% of moisture in a given sample, if we see that there is an increase in volume by about 20 to 40%, again depending upon what type of or what grade of sand it is. So whenever we increase the moisture content further, what happens? The sand particles will pack near each other and the bulking or the volume will decrease. So this process we call it as bulking of sand. Then coming to the deleterious materials that are present in sand, the sand that is used for construction should not contain any harmful impurities like alkali, iron or salt or any other organic impurities, because that will affect adversely the strength and durability of the material like mortar or concrete, whatever you prepare using sand. And also there is a limit for maximum quantity of clay or fine silt, etc. So clay, fine silt, fine dust, etc. Should not be more than 5% by mass in the sand that is used for construction. And organic impurities also, it should be lighter, it should not be present in excess whenever we use sand for construction. So these are the various desirable properties of sand. So thank you.